It's only been a couple days into me trying to be sober and not use any edible products. And this fucking sucks. I can't really eat. I can't really sleep well. I feel very depressed. I kind of have no energy, and this sucks really bad. And I'm very, very much considering just not doing this and quitting, quitting this entirely and just buying more and fueling myself more. But I was talking with my friend about it, and he told me that he hasn't drinking in a month. First week is hard. Second week, not as hard. Third week, a little bit easier, and so on, right? And it really made me think, okay, well, yeah, over time it's going to get easier. It's like going to the gym. The first day is hard, second day is a little bit easier, and over time it gets to the point where it doesn't feel like you an obligation. It's just a normal routine, you know. At some point, it's not going to feel like an obligation to need to get high and able to order in order to eat and sleep. It's just going to feel like routine. I just eat normally, right? But another aspect of using that I never really considered to be a kind of major player is the fact that it kind of shuts my brain off, you know, dumbs me down a bit. I am a very I'm a very like analytical person. I think a lot. And it's not like overthinking, it's not like anxiety. It's literally just I'm thinking all of the time, whether it's about videos, whether it's about work or money or how I just hate myself and my situation. I'm always just thinking. And when I use, I can just turn my brain off and not have to think. And frankly, that part of it has always been, to me, was like a side bit. It wasn't the main reason why I used. But now that I'm kind of analyzing I'm realizing how important that aspect of it was, really, to just keeping myself in check, you know. It really helped me just wind down, you know. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't have an answer to like just mass thinking. I don't want to say overthinking because it's not one thing that I'm thinking about over and over and over again. I'm just thinking about a lot of shit all the time, and I can't stop my brain from just not thinking, you know. I wanted to also talk today about just kind of the general climate of the world and the fact that it doesn't look pretty bright in my future. You know, the common sentiment is once it's my turn to be an adult, the world goes to shit. You know, and I'm thinking like if that is the case, if my life is just gonna suck forever because of things out of my control, given like just the political climate or however whatever wars or whatever. I mean, like I'm gonna want to have something to kind of just cope with that and kind of get through my day. You know, as much as I hate the thought of it, the act of winding down with a vice is somewhat of just a human trait, you know, whether it be a activity, whether it be a hobby, a therapy, drinking a beer, whatever it is. People come home, they try to relax, they sit down, they turn the game on, they watch basketball, baseball, and they just chill, they relax, you know. There's a definite line between that and addiction to a substance, right? And I think I'm still at that point where it's not an addiction yet. It's not something I need to function because I can still eat, I can still sleep, but it just makes those things easier, you know? But at the end of the day, I'm imagining that I'm not gonna have to, but I'm gonna want to use again. And I don't want to hold that over my head being like, oh, I I value my life more if I don't use. Because I see that. I see people do that all the time. They put others down for the fact that they do use um, to cope with life, I guess. Um, I think those people are lame just because, like, the fact that you choose to take the suffering of life like, to, like, on the chin and just fucking deal with it does not make you better in any way than people who don't and would rather like just come home, have a glass, or come home, roll up a joint. You know, people who vape are cringe. I think vaping's cringe. I'll give you that one. But I mean, like everything else, like that's there's no like part of you that makes you a better person or like a more valuable human because you decide to just not do that. You know, because that inherently says using and having an addiction is inherently a negative thing towards someone's personal worth. I think that's kind of cringe. Um, and I don't want to be that way because that's what kind of made me want to stop as well. Is like I don't want to be that kind of guy. I don't want to have that weight of I'm I'm an addict because that's such a negative thing to say, you know. But at the end of the day, like who really gives a fuck as long as it's not like heroin. As long as it's not like crack cocaine or meth, I think I'm fine, you know? As long as it's not like actively destroying my brain cells in like a way that like my brain's decaying, like fucking meth, I think I'll be fine. What I'm trying to say is that this barrier of entry towards my sobriety, or at least just a tea break, I don't know what I want to call it yet, it does suck, but I'm pushing through it for now because I want to see if I could just do it. You know, I want to see if I have it within me to like be able to reacclimate myself to normal human body functions, you know, not needing weed to eat or sleep or whatever, you know. I want to see if I can do it just to prove to myself a stupid point. But I think at the end of the day, I'm going to end up wanting to use, and I probably will use, not out of like desperation, but out of just like life sucks and I want to make it a little bit more enjoyable for myself, you know. God, I enjoy getting high. You know what, I'll say it. I enjoy getting high. I enjoy getting high, getting on the game and listening to Don Tolliver. It's fucking awesome. Thank you. I don't have any more to say. Thank you.